So we've got semi-final in Washington. Pegula, Sakkari, number 1 seed, number 4 seed. Let's just find out who's going to serve first, and I'll go through the notes. The notes are in the description of the video, the stream. If it's your first time watching one of these streams, the main purpose of them is for me to pass on as much information as I can during a match, trying to explain every move that I make, why I'm placing a trade, why I'm getting out of a trade, why I'm not placing a trade. It's a bit of a mind dump that hopefully you'll find useful. If you do trade alongside, obviously that's up to you. Please use stakes that are appropriate for your experience. Stream should be delayed by 2 or 3 seconds. Okay, I'll just watch the toss. Okay, didn't seem too confident about it, but Pegula's going to serve. Is that just my stream that's freezing? Okay, they've played 7 times before. Sakkari leads 4-3. Last time they played was in February this year on a hard court. Pegula won that in 3 sets. Sakkari won on a hard court in 2022. That was in 2 tie breaks. Hard win percentages, better for Pegula. She beat Svitolina in the last round, 3 sets. She made the semis in Miami, 4th round in Indian Wells, and the semis in Dubai. Took the title in Doha, quarterfinals at the Australian Open. Sakkari has not lost a set so far, reached the semis in Indian Wells. Also semis in Doha, 3rd round at the Australian Open. 12-month hard results, that should be stats. Typo already. 12-month hard stats are a little better for Pegula on serve, and strongly favour her on return as well. Stats for the tournament favour Sakkari, so good chance of it being tight. Decent chance of 3 sets. Now, even though Pegula's price has drifted around 10 ticks since I wrote that this morning, I'm going to keep to the target. I've put to back Pegula around 2.2 to 2.3. I'll take some liability out at 1.65, and to lay the set 1 winner. So I'm probably going to stick with those targets. I'll probably prefer the top end of that target window, 2.3ish. Pegula does quite often start slowly, but then so does Sakkari, so this could be an interesting one. Again, if you're new to these streams, I'm able to have the match video in the live stream but not the audio. I actually think it's the music that they play at change of ends that triggers copyright issues, so it's easy just not to have it at all. I am obviously listening to the audio with an earpiece. So we should be underway soon. At the moment I'm doing these streams once every 2 weeks. I am toying with the idea of doing that weekly. normally, I mean, there's been a lot of prattling about today with rain delays and flash scores confusing me as to what time this match was starting, but usually it doesn't take up that much time if I was to cover just the one match. Currently do weekly ones for Tennis Profits. I do a chat room trading session that I hate, really hate doing those, typing and trading and trying to explain everything, it's just too much. And then alternate weeks I do a live stream for them as well, which was why initially when I started doing them for TradeShark members, I just thought I could squeeze in a couple a month. But I'm pretty sure I can increase that a little bit. So much easier to do a live stream. Nowhere to hide on a live stream, which is some of the attraction for me, to be honest. Nice to put yourself under pressure. Now both these players can give you tricky matches to trade, so the fact that they're playing each other adds to the interest. Okay, here we go. Not unusual at all for Pegula to struggle in her first service game. Or certainly in the matches that I've traded of hers over the last few months. And Sakkari can be as flaky as they come. Okay, it's the hold. if everybody's match video is freezing like mine. It's going to be a bit of a pain if that continues. Oh, it is. It's not just me. That's good. That's going to get very annoying. Hopefully they sort it out. Double fault. Oh, get lost. If Pegula does get a break here, I think it is worth laying it, but I would not lay at break point as I often do. I do favour her to win. I suppose it may depend where the price goes to at break point. I haven't actually set. I find that if I do set a target in the pre-match plan for a lay if the favourite goes ahead, and I decide not to take it, I usually regret it. So hold to 30 each. Identical stats, apart from Pegula's got an ace, Sakkari's got a double fault. Okay, cheers for that, John. Apparently streams, it's the stream itself rather than individual bookies. Other sites are having an issue as well. Maybe they've fixed it. I shouldn't have said that, I've just jinxed it. Hasn't happened for a few minutes. I'm a 30 all in every game so far. No break points. Ah, juice. Nope. Struggling to close this one out. If you do keep missing game points, eventually a break point comes. Not had one yet. Second serve, 1 from 4 on second serve. It's got a chance. Still no break point. Looks like it's been a decent match. Still can't get it done. Early days, but this could be frustrating for Sakkari that she hasn't had a break point yet. Second serve, there we go. I'm not going to get the target price. I will back if she gets broken. Just keep the stake lower than I would back at 2.3, which is my target. Don't want to commit yourself too soon. Second serve. Do we get a break? Looks like it. There we go. Hopefully you can't hear these kids screaming outside. So 2 from 7 on second serves for Pegula. She'll need to obviously improve on that one. First serve percentage is fairly even. First serve percentage 0.1, sorry, dropped in that last game. Sakkari gets broken back immediately after breaking 30% of the time on hard courts. Pegula gets broken and breaks back 58% almost of the time. Just out of interest, can you hear the kids screaming outside? Because if it doesn't pick up on the microphone, I won't bother about it. It'll irritate me if I know you can hear it. You can hear it. Great. Super. No, it's no big deal. It's just irritating when you're trying to concentrate. It's quieter than it normally is, to be fair. Okay, Sakkari 2-1. This is quite a common start for Pegula. I prefer to put some pressure on this game. A little bit too easy for Sakkari. Get to the price where I would be laying Sakkari. Maybe if she goes ahead in this next game. Don't want to give myself too much liability just in case Pegula's having a mate. She did seem to be doing okay in that last her last service game, Pegula. Allowed it to slip away. In this situation I do quite like around about 165 to 160 to add to the position. Hold to love, okay. Wish I'd laid now. best to stick with what works. So that's obviously helped her first serve percentage up to 71. 71% also first serve points won. Excuse me. Pretty strong numbers for Sakkari. Just 3 points lost on serve. So let's see if we get some pressure in this next game. Pegula certainly seemed to make some sort of correction in that last service game. Very different to the previous one. As I said, it's quite a common start for her. So Sakkari very strong on serve so far. Is she going to start to wobble a bit? When she does have a really good serving day, she is really tough to beat. Doesn't usually keep it going for the whole match. Now, even though my initial target entry for Pegula was 2.3, because I've placed, albeit a reduced stake, below that, 2.06, for me to add to it, I would want to be above that so that the average took me nearer to my target. Bit of pressure. It's been taken to 30 all before. Hasn't faced a break point yet. And still hasn't. Oof. Wow. As close as you can get. Maybe it's her day. It's a very strong start. Happy enough with first serve percentage and first serve points won for Pegula. Second serve is a concern. Not as much as it would be. 2 from 7 if her first serve percentage was low. But if that first serve percentage starts to drop, then things are going to tip even more towards Sakkari. So I am going to add to this, but I'm going to just not get too carried away with liability. It'd be nice if Pegula has had at least one break point. Certainly up to this point, she's very much second best. Pegula. So she's going to dig herself out. Just love 30 down. Second serve, but wins the point. Okay, now would be a good time for a break back. First serve percentage did drop for Sakkari in our last game. It's down at 63. Still pretty solid on serve. Our first serve percentages, as we've seen, are pretty even. Pegula's in blue on these graphs. First serve rating, not surprisingly, better for Sakkari. First serve points won, as we can see from the stats, better for Sakkari. Pegula has increased hers a little bit. Still a potential issue on second serve. Let's have some pressure here, that'd be nice. Pegula just needs to get a nose in front against on Sakkari's serve. Not managed to do it yet. She's going to need a bit of scoreboard pressure. That's a really good second serve. Before that point she was 3 for 6, I think, on second serve. Second serve again. She's just not giving very much away. Hold to 30, hold to love, hold to 30. Probably a hold to 15. Still only one break point in the set. Still only one. Tempted to reduce my liability, even though I am going to do that. The fact that she's not had a break chance is a bit of a concern. could just sit on the position as it was before and hope that she suddenly finds a break if she can force Sakkari to serve for the set. Obviously a little extra pressure on the server serving for the set. Not a great fan of relying on hope. If she should break back before the end of the set, if she gets level, it's just going to take me into profit. Does seem like it's more likely Sakkari is going to close the set out. Maybe even in this game. Definitely worth a lay of Sakkari if she does take the set. Which now looks pretty likely. But I've managed to keep the red, to say it's gone against my favoured player. Kept the red manageable. And obviously if she breaks here, that means Sakkari is going to serve first in the second set. Second serves have hurt Pegula in that set. Let's hope that changes. So I'm not going to go nuts with the lay. Very strong set from Sakkari. Sakkari in red. Not very much between first serve percentages. First serve rating consistently in the lead. First serve points 1, always in the lead. Dipped a little bit towards the end, but still a decent difference. And it's usually a good indicator of who's going to win the set. Proved to be the case. Second serve points 1. So I need a bit of a change in momentum for this second set. The matches are usually pretty close. Stats for the tournament did favour Sakkari, so definitely not, well it never is, but definitely not guaranteed that Pegula is going to recover. So when Sakkari does serve well, really tough to break down. Usually we'll have a dip though, even on the days where she is serving well. Obviously if you're watching the recording of the stream, or you're not in the chat room, Max just said interesting, when you reduce your liability in situations like that first set, I have a tendency to try and hold on rather than realizing I can just take the loss on a portion of the stake. If she'd been more competitive, I would have been more likely to stay with the position I had, because I did favour Pegula pre-match. She just hadn't given me anything to hang my coat on, if that's the right phrase. Let's see if we get a change of fortune in this one. didn't want to go mad with the liability just in case she is going to run away with this one. Only had 2 break chances and took them both. So she's obviously focused and the preparation's been good mentally as well as physically. So we've got a bit of pressure here, she's got her nose in front. Got to take advantage of this situation now. She's not really been ahead. I don't know if she's been ahead at all on Sakkari's serve. So I'd love 30 if she doesn't get the break. That could affect her. Needs this point, hasn't got it. She's not doing herself any favours, Pegula. And Sakkari doing pretty much everything right so far. Surprised the crowd haven't been louder. Try and lift their player. Love 30, loses 4 points. So at this stage, not overly confident that she's going to pull this out. As I've said before on these streams, if your favoured player loses in straight sets, there's always a chance that you're going to have a bigger than normal red. Assuming that you stayed with her. Excuse me, stayed with your player. As I did for most of that set. Well, all the set really. Just with the reduced position towards the end. Excuse me. Whoops. So as things stand at the minute, I'm not keen to add to this, so it'd be nice if you can just do a better job, so I don't need to add to it. Normally very good at recovering from going to break down. She's made me a lot of money in the past. She just does seem a little bit clueless in this one. Plus Sakkari's definitely deserved that set. She is the stronger player. I'm just relying on a new set changing momentum. But she's under pressure again. Second serve, needs to do better on second serve in this set. Okay, a little bit of encouragement. Pegula, when she's lost the first set, takes the second set 50% of the time. That's an interesting one. Sakkari, when she takes the first set, wins in 2 sets 60% of the time. That's quite low. But if Pegula can't get some pressure on serve, she'll be winning in 2 today. So early days in this set, first serve percentage for Sakkari is quite low, but she's doing well on both first and second serves. Keeping the percentages high. And my gut feeling now is that obviously Pegula's got a lot of work to do, and I'm not sure if she's in the right frame of mind for it. And I'm thinking the longer I stay with this, the more chance of quite a chunky red. But as so often you see, if you think you know which way a set's going and you bail out, almost immediately it turns the way that you wanted it to go originally. Not feeling this one. Can admit that you were wrong sometimes. Something that's ringing a little alarm bell as well is that stats for the tournament are better for Sakkari. Certainly raised a level today. Really tempted to reduce my liability or even just take the loss, but it just feels like it's too soon. I would say if Sakkari goes a break up, even though I do like the setting a break entry, as you know. No break chances from the top seed. I would probably just take the hit if that happened, which is going to be around about 80 quid. I say you've got to be prepared that if your player does lose in straight sets, you're going to have bigger red than you would normally get. And the fact that I've kept liability low obviously helps that situation. An 80 red, you don't want to lose 80 quid, but that's certainly no big deal. Not something that would affect, for example, a decision that I made in the next match. Whereas were I to lose 250, maybe 300, that does affect you a little bit. You'd be lying if you said it didn't. In the right situation, I can allow myself up to 700, 800 liability. I don't often get to that stage, it's usually 450, 500. So I do reduce it a little bit when I'm doing the streams, because there's just more going on. More to think about, more to distract you, potentially. To close this one out without any drama. Okay, 40 love to 40-30. There's a little drama. Yep. Not good. Not good. And because of the way I feel it's going, tempting to get out there. Again, it's one of those situations where it's only 1 point. She's not actually behind, but I think the writing's on the wall. So I'm close to my exit here. Her body language not good at all, is it? That's not what you want to see. I think I might be bailing here. Yeah, that's it. So setting a break can be a turning point. I really don't think it's going to be in this one. Stats really did point towards Pegula. Well, certainly being competitive. I had her winning it in 3. So I always say I need a really good reason to turn down a set and a break entry. I think if you haven't entered the match up until now, now is a really good value entry. I just think it's Sakkari's day today. So looking at the Sakkari graphs, not really given a lot of opportunity to do much with it. The second entry, the second lay, was a good entry, and briefly took me into green territory. It seems a long way away. What time are we on? This one started at 7. Yeah, if this one's over pretty quickly, I'll do the next one. Now I could argue, if I'm being super critical, that I should have got out earlier, because if you look at the match stats, not a single break point for Pegula. So often you will see a change of momentum in the second set. It's just not happened today. Stats were slight, other than the tournament stats favouring Sakkari. Longer term, it's usually the 12-month stats that give a slight edge to, because it gives a better indication of their normal level of play. Home player, thought the crowd might do more for her than they have. I mean, they're trying now, but she, don't know, she's just not there. She's just not there at all. Sometimes weight of expectation puts extra pressure on a home player. Doesn't really happen with the British players. They always lift the game. In the UK, it's just a dog shit everywhere else. And it also didn't help in this one that, as I said a couple of times earlier, Pegula does often start slowly and almost always gets back at least level in the set. And that probably kept me in the trade longer than I would have done normally. I'd actually be surprised if Pegula holds it. Here's the stats in this set, aren't that good? 63% first serve percentage, actually it's 165%, which is average at best on first serve. Sorry, I'm looking at the ones for the match. Yeah, even worse in this set. 47% first serve percentage, 57% on first serve, 38%. Well, thanks, Pegula. Sakkari's given her absolutely nothing. And if she comes back now, I'm going to be annoyed. It's one of these where it just does not look at all likely that she's going to do it. Really bad body language. But it's only one break. Quite often matches do turn around from this sort of price and they never look likely. And like they say with the lottery, you've got to be in it to win it, but I think she's cost me enough on this one. Okay, question in the chat. It's from Matthew again. We can ask another question along the lines of the one I asked previously. Struggle a bit with removing partial liability and when to do it. I guess I tend to think that if I think there is a decent chance of the situation turning, I should stay in the trade all in, and if I think it's hopeless, I should get out completely. This does end up with some big reds though. Do you have any thoughts on when to remove some liability, but not all liability? No, I mean there's no trade going on at the minute, so before the question, there's no definitive answer to that. It's really looking at the situation as a whole. I think I ignored too much. Well, when I reduced liability shortly before the end of the first set, that was due to the fact that she hadn't created a single break chance. If she'd been competitive and put pressure on Sakkari in several of Sakkari's service games, then there's a decent chance that when she's serving for the set, oh, I don't think she had to serve, no, she didn't serve for the set in the end because she broke again, but had she got to the point where she needed to serve for the set, there's more chance that she's going to come under pressure. You just need a reason to stay in, and if the only reason you're staying in is hope, you're best getting out. If you can't give yourself a reason for staying with it, then don't. She's going to break back here, isn't she? The swine. Sakkari came close to going 5-1 up. She's going to break back. You bugger. Yeah, bugger. Do I risk it for a biscuit? She's had love 30 before and cocked it up. It could just be that Sakkari thought she was nearly home and dry in that last game. Like I said just a few minutes ago, when the price was 1.07 or something, it never looks likely that it's going to be a turnaround. She seemed to have a face on the floor. Sakkari serving bombs. It's a funny old game. Don't lose all three of these break chances. She's going to be some more, isn't she? She's just stitched me up, hasn't she? I do put a lot of weight in my pre-match assessments, which is why I thought maybe there's a chance this would turn. She's got to take this one. She has done. Okay, let's see if she can hold, shall we? I need a really good reason not to take a set and a break entry. And like I said, if you weren't in the market, definitely a set and a break in this situation was a very good value entry. Didn't look likely it was going to turn around, but it was good value, as it usually is, which is why it's a favourite entry. Just everything pointed towards Sakkari running away with the end of this set. Big test for Pegula if she can somehow get a hold in this next game. The stats aren't amazing. At least that's shown a little bit of vulnerability from Sakkari. I thought this one was over. And the problem with entering there, obviously the what score was it? It was love 30, wasn't it? Which was 1.2. So I've missed a good 10 plus ticks by not keeping faith with my pre-match favourite, but she'd given me no reason to stay with her. So she needs to not stitch me up here and find a way to hold. Terrific start. The thing is, if she doesn't hold here, I'm not going to save myself very much by jumping out, which is why I didn't go crazy with delay, because it wasn't a great price anyway. She needs to get her act together from the service line. Second serve, 5 from 10 so far. Not hopeful. No, gets one. Potentially, if she can somehow, as I said, get a hold here, that's got to put a bit of mental pressure on Sakkari. She must have thought she was so close to the finish line. Second serve, don't do it. She did it. Oh, I'd have been quite hopeful at 40-15. Now it's a bit of a coin toss. Okay, interesting. So Sakkari in her head, I suspect, was at 5-1 and she's now back to 4-all. Could take the reduced red. I can always get back in if Pegula takes it to 3. I'm going to give a chance to put some pressure on here. There's got to be doubts coming into Sakkari's head. Got to be. She's a woman. Sorry for the ladies watching the stream, but you know it's true. Bit of scoreboard pressure would have been nice, love 30, but get the feeling that Pegula's probably only chance was to get a break in this one. Don't want to give Sakkari a chance to just settle her brain a bit. Again, a little voice in my head saying just take the reduced red. Telling my little voice to shut up. Needed that one. Can still take a reduced red. I'm going to hate myself. I'm going to take that. I think she's missed a chance. I've just broken my New Year's rule that I've broken so many times, not to exit in the middle of a game. I usually regret it when I do. Come on, gut. Don't let me down. Don't break now. Don't. If she does break though, that's going to give me more opportunities to enter later in the match. Don't break now. Don't do it. Oh, she's going to do it. She's back to juice. Every time I do it, I regret it. And I just can't stop doing it when I feel that it's not going to happen. I think in this case, I can justify why I've done that. Had Sakkari closed out this game, I would have thought that would have been the nail in the coffin for she's gonna break, you bugger. That would have been the nail in the coffin for Pegula, and she'd have come under pressure in the next one, serving to stay in the match. If Pegula does get into this, break chance, you absolute swine. Then it means I've got more of the match to trade. Why don't I just follow my own rules? I think if he'd entered for the first time at setting a break, when she's just broken. She's just broken. That's fine. Fine with it. I'm fine with it. Okay, not fine with it. You definitely needed to be reducing liability when she got the break back. Out at 135. She's now evens. It's fine. Not bothered. Lie in. I am bothered. Thought she'd missed a chance in that one. Christ, what now? Is she going to hold? The stats aren't good. Stats aren't good. That is so annoying, it's unbelievable. I was trying to find a positive. I'm in a better position than I was before I entered that last little stage of the match. But I should be in profit now. Okay, I think she's going to struggle in this one, but I'm going to wait for the third set. And if Sakkari breaks here, I may jump out the window. I just might. Evens wasn't a great time to enter, to be fair. But like I say, I did think there's a fair chance that she's going to struggle in this service game. Pegula, stats aren't great in the set. What I didn't want to do was jump in. Bit of FOMO kicking in, having just missed 70 ticks. It's only 70 ticks. It's fine. Absolutely fine. At least my common sense head kicked in. I didn't make it worse. So the positive is I'm in a better position than I thought I was going to end the match at. And potentially got a third set to improve it a bit more. convincing? You swine, Pegula. Stuck with you for a set and a half. Right, I need to get that out of my head. Got another set coming up. It's not like I made my position worse. I just didn't make it anywhere near as much better. No, that's a shit. Even my English is gone now. You know what I mean? Put it in basic terms, I'm a little bit pissed off. But it could be worse. Could be worse. Again, another positive. My pre-match assessment was right. I just wish she hadn't looked like she didn't want to be there. Yeah, you and me both, Matthew. I think it's pretty much as soon as I got out, she won every point after that, didn't she? The swine. The swine. They're all bastards. Right then, set 3. As we're doing the third set, I won't be doing the next match. Because we have a curry coming. Not for a good hour or so. Think positive. 20 quid better off than I thought I was going to finish the match. But you can see it's a really good indicator, is that set, how the mental side takes over. Sakkari can be flaky anyway when she's ahead, but she has looked so solid until she didn't get that break to go 5-1 up. And I'm convinced that in that situation she thought she'd won. She thought that was it, I'm going to be serving for the match. And I must say I agreed with it. If she did think that. When that gets snatched away from you. Well, you can tell it affected her because she went love 40 down in the next service game. I do have a lot more grey hairs than I used to have. I do blame the wife for that. Mind you, she blames herself for that as well. Okay. Where's my situation stats for the third set? Hello? What's going on? Right, Sakkari. Is she gonna crumble now? Or is she gonna fight back? You see, arguably, I suppose that the only difference in the second set was, excuse me, second serve points won. So she did improve. Pegula from the first set on second serve. There's my graphs. Look at that, second serve points won. Sakkari in red, nose dive. First serve points won, she's still ahead. Both on decline, but more of a decline in first serve ratings. That's just telling us what we've seen actually. Pretty even on first serve percentages. Third sets are difficult to predict at the start of the set. Yeah, I don't think it was a bad decision. I'm a little bit annoyed because I have been working on something this year about not exiting in that sort of situation in the middle of a game. Let the game play out. She just hadn't created anything up to that point. Well, no, that's not fair. By that time, she'd already got the break. But I thought she'd missed a chance in that particular game. She had been ahead, I think, in it. I mean, it's trading. You don't know. It's a two-horse race. It's either the price is either going up or it's going down. And you've got sometimes a couple of seconds to make the decision. It's only natural you're going to be peed off when you've just got out just before the price goes exactly the way you wanted it to, and by a long way. What you need to definitely think about in that situation is don't then, and it's why I didn't, one of the reasons why I didn't back Sakkari when Pegula was serving for the set. One of the reasons that I would have been backing was because I'd missed the big move in the previous one, and you need to avoid doing that. You've got to get your brain back on target as quickly as you can. Of course you're going to be pissed off. You know, you're human. We're not robots. If you miss out on... It's worse when you predicted that, as I did, I thought there's a really good chance if she could get that hold that she could then go on to put pressure on Sakkari. And she did. She just pissed about a lot on the way to doing it. So I think anybody would be frustrated there. I'm certainly not going to sit here and tell you that, no, that's fine, don't mind that at all. Of course you mind it. Anyway, back to the third set. 2 break chances. Something's gone wrong with the situation stats. It's not told me anything for this set. Thanks very much. Don't know what's happened there. So easy first hold for Sakkari in her game. Two break chances saved. Don't know where Pegula's found this from, but she's dug herself out of the gutter. She really looked like she didn't care and she was clueless. Thought she was going down 6-1 in that last set. Certainly was very close to it. because this has been so close in the end, I'm not sure the price is going to be all that attractive if Sakkari breaks here. You see, first set Pegula faced 2 break chances, broken both times. She only faced 1 break chance in the second set, it was taken. So it's not until set 3 that she's actually saving break chances, which is a good indication of her head is in a better place. Which shouldn't be a surprise because she's just pulled it out of the fire to get into a third set. It's going to be a bit of a kick in the teeth if she now goes a break behind though. I think if Pegula can get the hold here, Sakkari's got to be feeling it's not her day. She must have felt at some point at 4-1 during that game that she had this sewn up. And I would say everybody else watching it must have thought the same. That's a huge hold. Do I? It's not a great price to get in. I'm going to resist. It's not value, and that's the reason I'm resisting. We're too close to evens. The price is going to move so much for a point. Oh, too busy witching on. I thought she'd held. Christ. Wasn't even watching the stream. I'm guessing that was a disputed line call. Always pay attention. Gets it anyway. It's not a price to be entering. As I said, they're too close to evens. The price just goes crazy. But there has to be a chance that Sakkari is going to struggle in this next game. To back her now will just be a punt. We're not doing that. We're not playing that shit. And if she does break now, that's not a situation where I'd be peed off that I'd missed the opportunity, because the opportunity wasn't there because the price wasn't right. It wasn't a value entry. It was a bet. So if you say I'd stuck 50 quid on or something, fair enough. But you've got to go into it understanding that it's a bet. while Sakkari can be flaky, as they all can, but she definitely has her moments. She has played well this week. It's probably the most pressure she's come under. Sakkari's first time she's lost a set this week, so that could affect her as well. And she often does seem to fall at the semi-final stage. That could be playing on her mind. This is a big point. Here we go. So safe to say she has struggled on this service game. Got to be worth a bit of a lay if Pegula does break here, which I don't think she has. Nope. The price that Pegula would be when I break up is going to be more attractive than Sakkari, I think. I think the market's going to be more towards Pegula. It's always difficult to know in third sets. That's a chance missed so far for Pegula. She's not had many break chances. Well, apart from that one game where she had 3 or 4, obviously. Trying to forget about that one. It was really to be expected that Sakkari was going to not be able to maintain a first set level. She did maintain it for most of the second set, to be honest. Yeah, don't mention that one. Don't mention the war. I just about got it out of my head as well until I made that comment. Damn! Mentioned it. I'm fine with it. I'm fine. First serve percentage She's only had one service game, but Pegula wasn't great on serve. Had to save 4 break chances in her first service game, so she could go break up here. Be worth a little late. It's not going to happen, is it? Got to be so careful in third sets when the prices are pretty even. Obviously, if you pick the right direction, you're going to do really well. It's certainly not low risk. So she's dug herself out of that one. Oh, you're working again now. Great. Okay, the broken and break back will have been triggered at break point. So that'll disappear in a minute, as will that one. As will that one. Because the Tennis Profits point by point update is about a point behind what you'll see on the bookie sites, Bet365. I've asked for that type of stat to be triggered by a breakpoint, just so that it's there in good time. Seems to work okay. It's a good way around the situation, rather than pay whatever it is, 10-15 grand a month for the same speed update that the bookies have. Not worth it. Well, it's in the balance. Just to confirm, even though I said I was going to do the next match, now that this has gone to 3, I won't be doing the next match. Yeah, she's going to order at 9 o'clock, she told me. We're seeing a shift towards Pegula. Down in Tennis Profits, the green numbers and red numbers, it just shows, it'll show the two players' stats, whatever it is, whatever percentage it is. Those, if it's a plus, it means that the higher number is the better number. Depends which stat you're talking about, and that'll be the percentage, how much the percentage. My brain won't work. Give me a second. How much higher that stat is as a percentage compared to the opponent. Got there eventually. It's been a long day. How better it is, that's it. And if it shows in red, it's because the stat is one where the lower number is the better number. So again, it shows the percentage difference. think Pegula's just getting the upper hand here. Last service hole was to love. Shouldn't have many of those. Still not touching it though. I do think it's shifting slightly towards Pegula. She's got a better first serve percentage in this set. Only had 2 games each. Second serve, she's only lost 1 point on. As we've seen, second serves are a good indicator of who's going to win the set. Yeah, Sakkari definitely is liable to just fall at the last hurdle in tight matches, but she has played extremely well this week and played extremely well today for almost 2 sets. Stream's freezing again. Evens. Which is understandable. I would still say slight edge to Pegula. Third sets are very difficult to predict. Usually a better idea to wait until a player is a break up, and as long as the price is decent, can be a fair entry. You don't want to enter at evens unless you had pre-existing green. Don't have that problem today. Okay, have I just jinxed Pegula? Tough hold in the last game. definitely need to be careful in third sets. And as Paul just said in the chat, it is a quick way to lose any green that you did have up to that point. It's tempting to think, I mean in this case, if I had some green already going into the third set, because she's actually the stats are pretty even now. Still slightly better for Pegula. Oh, she's making a dog's breakfast of this one. It can be tempting to just move all your green onto your favoured player. They're just so difficult to predict. Break point. Okay, not going to go mad. I'm going to try a little late. It's more for damage limitation than anything else. See if we can reduce the red a little bit more. But because I've gone in at that level, if she doesn't break back, it's more or less where I thought I was going to end the match anyway. That figure. Because I've only placed a small lay, there's not really a lot of benefit to not just letting it run. We saw in the last set how can never write Pegula off. Big point coming up. Looks like a second serve the way the market's reacted. Yep. It's doing quite well on second serve though, unfortunately, this set. Ha, jinx. So a rare break point. Apart from that one game. Fine with it. Fine with it. Second serve again. Yeah, you don't take them when I'm in the market, do you? That's a similar situation where I got out in the second set. She'd had a chance, didn't take it. I thought, oh, she's blown it now. So I'm going to stay in this time. Because liability is not huge anyway. Second serve again. So you never know whether it's the right thing to do to get out mid-game. I have found by forcing myself to stay in for the full game this season, it actually works in your favour more often than not. If you do stay in, still hard to do it sometimes. She's had her chances in this game. I do think she's blown it again. Yeah, long way back now. Not really saving myself a great deal by jumping out now. And it could always turn around as the second set did. Does need Pegula to hold herself together to get a hold. So I've never really found a convincing or a consistent way of predicting third sets. If it's as close as this, often it's can be 2 or 3 important points go for a particular player, and that can turn the set around. And it certainly early in the set did look as if Pegula was getting the upper hand. Can she do it again? It's a lot of scoreboard pressure as well at 2-5. She really needs to force Sakkari to serve this out. Yeah, 2-5 just feel like a mountain to climb in the third. Probably for 2 2/3 sets, Sakkari's been the better player. Yeah, good win for her. Had chances to take, I think probably I could have taken 50 quid red in the last few games. Decided to give it a chance, as I thought Pegula was going to be the stronger finisher. Wasn't to be. So thanks for watching. I'll get the recording up on the site. It's probably going to be tomorrow now, and I'll see you on the next one.